The Inventor's Legacy. In the quiet of her quarters, far above the din of the castle halls, Luma sat alone beneath the flicker of a single lantern. Her brow was smudged with soot, her sleeves rolled past her elbows. Before her sat a half-assembled device, the latest version of her silent beacon. It was meant to protect the helpless, to whisper for help, without ever making a sound. She adjusted the lens, turned a small dial, and held her breath as she triggered the power core. A soft flash sparked, then vzz, a puff of smoke curled into the air. Ugh, it failed again, Luma muttered, fanning the smoke with her blueprint. Then came a knock. Knock, knock. She straightened. Who is it? It is Tariq, Miss Luma. Luma blinked. Come in. The door creaked open. Standing there, slightly flushed, was the young nobleman she had met just yesterday. Lord Tariq, son of Rafiq, bearer of scrolls and a spark of wonder in his eyes. Oh, it is you, Lord Tariq. Just Tariq, he said quickly. Please, since we are well working together now. Working together? Master Elric said I could study here. Help in the workshop. He stepped forward, offering a cloth-wrapped bundle. Here. He told me to bring you this. Luma unwrapped the bundle slowly. Inside were still warm fig pastries and a folded napkin shaped like a dove. She sighed and smiled. That old fart. He always brings me snacks. Tariq laughed. He is not just brilliant, he is kind, too. Luma set the pastries aside and returned to the smoking device. I admired him long before he worked for the crown. When I was little, he was just a wild inventor in a shack by the river. He had nothing. No title. No coin. Just dreams. Before that, he was a noble scholar, married a commoner, and was cast out by his own kin. They called him the mad flying lunatic. I called him a genius. Tariq listened in silence. For 20 years, he tried to build a flying ship. And every time it failed. Crashed into trees. Houses. Once, even the market square. But Lady Marlene believed in him. She paid the damages in secret. She saw something no one else did. Luma gently adjusted a coil on her failed beacon. Then came the silver powder, the invention that saved the realm from Greek fire. He loaded barrels of it onto that mad flying machine. And this time it flew. Her voice softened. Now the king calls him royal engineer, chief alchemist, hero of the realm. But to me, he is still the man who refused to give up. Tariq nodded with quiet awe. He is extraordinary. He leaned over the table. But what are you working on? Luma hesitated, then lifted the little lantern-like device again. This is a silent beacon. Not a weapon, a warning. For orphanages, farmsteads, places without guards. It sends a signal to nearby knights, but does not make a sound. It keeps them safe. She sighed. Or it is supposed to. It failed again. There was silence. Then, if you will allow me, Tariq said gently, cheeks pink, I would like to help. Luma looked up, surprised. He was smiling, awkward but sincere. If you insist, she said at last, handing him a tiny wrench. Welcome aboard. And so, in that cluttered little room of brass and blueprints, the two began to work together, handing each other tools, laughing through failed fuses, measuring light angles by candlelight. From strangers, they became partners, and something deeper began to grow between solder and silence. That afternoon in the royal garden, the sun fell golden across the marble paths and ivy-covered walls of the garden courtyard. Birds sang from high windows. Butterflies floated over violet blooms. King Francis strolled between the hedges, flanked by Lady Marlene and Lord Rafiq. Our land is rich, the king was saying. Grain, fruits, livestock, even seafood from the northern fjords. A blessing, Rafiq replied. In return, I offer something rarer, mountain crystal, medicinal spices, iron from the deep sands, and safe passage along our desert trade roads. Lady Marlene smiled. I believe this partnership may bring peace and prosperity. But not all eyes in the garden were kind. From beneath the shade of a stone archway, 2 white-cloaked Templars watched silently. I don't trust them, one muttered. Deals with Saracens? It does not sit right. A shadow fell across them. The knights stiffened. Master Seer Prince. The stoic Templar commander stood between them, his scarred jaw tight, I'm not sure either, he said softly. But if Lady Marlene trusts them, I trust her. Still, he added, we watch. And so the old warrior turned his gaze back to the garden dash, toward the king and the desert lord, toward the olive branch and the hidden blade,